All right, Mr. Coleman. It's been a hot year all year, hasn't it?
It has, but it's finally cooled up. We're beginning to get a little rain around here.
Finally. You remember what year it is?
What year it is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What year is it?
It's 1918. No, 20 and 18.
20 and 18. What year was you born?
29.
1929.
I was born during the Depression and never did get over it.
Never to get over it. You was 10 years old whenever the Great Depression hit. And then in 1943, they had a bad airplane wreck up here in between Palmersville and Latham, Tennessee. Do you by chance remember that, sir? You don't remember that? You was probably about 14, 15 years old.
A military plane?
Military plane fell out of the sky. You remember hearing any gossip about it?
No, no.
Not nothing that you can recollect?
The news didn't travel in like it does now.
Right. You was living at that time still in Obion, right?
Yeah. Well, out there in the country.
Out there in the country.
Out there between Obion and Turnpike.
What year was it that you moved out here to this area?
I moved here on this old place in 58.
1958. Was this road out here even blacktop at that time?
No.
That was still gravel road, wasn't it?
Old rubble, yeah.
Have you decided what you're going to end up doing with all this stuff? What's Philip going to do with it? It'll be handed down to your children.
Yeah.
You don't know if you're going to have an auction or turn it into a museum or...
I've thought about having an auction. I talked to Philip about it. I told Philip, I said, I can probably... That's what they'll do when I'm out of the way.
Right.
I said, I could probably do better with getting a sale arranged and what have you kids could. But
Sure. It'd be a lot of work for you, though. You know what? I mean, you'd have to organize this and organize that and detail this and detail that. You'd have to have help with it for about a week towards getting everything cataloged like you'd want it cataloged. You'd probably get more of a better bang for your buck while you was living.
yeah.
Towards people, locals around here, towards giving you more money for some of your older stuff than you would after you're dead and gone. Or that's just my feelings about it now. I may be wrong about that. And it may not make a dime's difference.
Yeah.
You know the old Ramsey house where Bill Ramsey and what was her name?
Moselle.
Moselle.
Or something like that.
Yeah, Moselle. Did you know?
Who's living there now?
I don't know who's living there now, but did you know a big tree limb fell on that house about 3 weeks ago?
No, I ain't been up through there lately. That boy, he used to come back here every once in a while, but I don't ever see nothing of him no more. What was his name? He'd come to church over.
Gwen?
What?
Glenn?
Glenn. Yeah.
Glenn, redheaded. He was a principal down there in Memphis school somewhere, wasn't he? Teacher or something.
I don't teacher. He's something.
Something.
School.
But now he still owns that piece of property over there.
They tell me he does.
Yeah, he still rents that out. I don't know who farms it. Does Dickie Jacobs farm it or?
I think the Cooper boys farm it.
Do the Cooper boys farm that?
Used to.
Who farms the old Macwright place?
Oh, Grant around across the river.
Grant farms it?
Yeah. Of course, old Grant got killed, and that boy his took it over.
I didn't know Grant got killed.
They was tearing down an old bridge. The boy was running the backhoe, and Grant and the hard hand was up under the bridge, and a lot of that old stuff The other boy got out of the way, but some of that heavy concrete caught rent, and he stayed down there in the hospital for 6-8 months and just finally died out. Bad.
When did that occur?
Hmm?
When did that occur?
Oh, a couple of years ago or longer, I guess 3 years ago.
Really? Was he the one that only had one arm?
No, that's old Hobbs' boy.
That's the Hobbs guy. He's still living, isn't he?
I see him every once in a while.
He's still farming too, isn't he?
No, I think he.
I thought they still had a big spread down there.
Well, of course, he lost that arm in the Vietnam and draws a pretty good check, and then he went to work for the state game warden.
Yeah.
And he turned his farming business over to some of the rest of the family.
Is he the one that does a lot of this bottom land towards putting up stuff, putting out crops for conservation?
I imagine he has something to do with that.
Really? Is your wife doing okay?
She has her good days and bad ones, and got to be more bad than there's good ones.
That's with all of us that get older. That's the name of the game. How about Philip? How'd he get? Did he ever heal up? Amanda said he's still got a bad limp.
He's still got a limp. I always will have. And all the feeling never has come back to that leg.
Really?
From here down 8 or 10 inches, there ain't no feeling in it.
He's lucky that he didn't lose that leg.
If that concussion had have caught him up in here like it caught him in that pelvis the other day, it would have done him in.
Yeah. Is he still living up there in Nashville making music?
Yeah.
Who's he working with up there? Do you know?
I don't really know.
Is it the Grand Ole Opry?
No, he's associated with different ones. I don't know.
It's a private deal up there,
I guess.
but it's still all associated with the Grand Ole Opry, and as far as country music and making music and stuff. Well, the reason why I wanted to talk to you is that I wondered if you had remembered at the age of 15 of that occurrence. And of course, with you only being 14 or 15 and you living all the way over there in O'Brien from Palmersville would probably be 50, 60 miles. So I'm going to say you probably didn't know. You probably wasn't aware of it. And even if you was at that age, it may have already done slip by you. You know what I'm saying?
You know, news didn't travel then, nothing like it does now.
No.
Only thing you had an old radio and it tell you a little something in the paper.
You probably remember sitting around the radio listening to the occurrences that occurred during World War II, didn't you? Who was the president back then? Do you know? Roosevelt.
There was an old news commentator. My dad listened to him. Gabriel Heater. Dad really listened to his news. He covered World War II, you know. But the old radios were static. You could sort of make it out, you know, what they were saying.
He was a war correspondent. What do you call him? Anchorman?
I guess, yeah.
Anchorman? I don't think they called him then back then. But you still remember those days, huh?
Mm-hmm.
So you remember having the old black and white TV?
I can remember, yeah, the first television I ever seen was down there in the old restaurant and pool hall at O'Brien. But you couldn't hardly see nothing, old snow. There wasn't much.
About how old was you then?
Well, 14, 15, maybe 6, somewhere in that area. Something was said about television here a few years back. Amanda thought television had been here for 500 years.
Now we got satellite and the internet and social media and like you said, now something can happen on the other side of the world, and in 4 or 5 minutes we'll be notified towards what went on over here, or vice versa. Something can go on big over here, and they'll be notified of it over there.
Just like that bad weather having in North Carolina, them people in China seeing that.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Those that want to tune in on it, yeah.
That's bad out there, them people. It's a big area, covers.
I've been all up and down the East Coast. Have you ever been to the East Coast?
No, I've been out in the Carolinas as far as I've ever been that way.
I've been up and down through Wilmington and Raleigh, North Carolina. On the other side of Washington, D.C., there was a place out there, I forgot, I think it was called Babylon, the community of Babylon, right next to the ocean. And then I've been up to Long Island, up and down through the canal there. And then I've lived in Jacksonville, Florida for a while, not long, but I have lived twice in St. Augustine, Florida, and I've also lived once in Homestead, Florida. So I'm very, very familiar with the East Coast. And I've been out to the West Coast twice. The West Coast, they got bigger waves. Their waves is 50, 60, 70-foot waves. And the ones out here on the East Coast, ordinarily they're not but about maybe 25 or 30-foot waves. The waves is a whole lot bigger on the other side of America. But whenever you went to the Korean War, right? You fought where at? Where was you stationed at over there?
We shipped out from Fort Leonard, Missouri, and went out to Washington State, out on the coast, and shipped out from there.
So you did get to see the West Coast a little bit.
Yeah. And we've been to California. Carolyn's been out there different times. I ain't never go but once. Her brothers live out there.
I see. But where did you go out whenever you fought over there in Korea?
Where'd I go? When we landed at Incheon, best I remember, that's over on the west coast of Korea. We landed there, and then they took us where they wanted us on up.
Where was the fight?
It was up north of Seoul, all across. Yeah, the peninsula of Korea ain't but 120 or 30 miles wide, you know.
I didn't know that.
It's a long, slim country, but it's not that wide.
Didn't you tell me at one time that there was thousands of boys that got killed over there, that their bodies never come back?
I seen that on the news here back a few years ago. It was 8,000 men was never counted for. They don't never know what happened to them.
8,000.
Their remains laying over in them rice paddies and in them mountains now.
That is so sad. What we've had to do for our freedoms, the sacrifices that our men and women in uniform has had to make throughout the span of the life's history of this country goes beyond imagination, doesn't it? Goes beyond imagination. Well, listen, I'm going to let you go. Like I said, I was shooting some pictures over to Amanda pertaining to that ceremony that I was at last week at 4 o'clock is whenever we christened the ground over there in between Latham, Tennessee and Parsons, Tennessee, in regard to that bad airplane wreck that occurred in 1943. It immediately killed 7, and the other 2, they're already deceased now too as well.
Well, does the old heads up in that community know anything about it?
Yeah, some of them do. Some of them remember it. Yes, some of them has on-site testimony. People that was born just about in your era. So we did capture that moment to be able to at least get some history about the history that occurred over there. You know, if you don't recognize those who has perished in harm's way pertaining to our servicemen and women who have sacrificed the ultimate sacrifice, it's almost like they die twice, because you not only die a physical death, but the cause that you was fighting for, it dies along with you, and you're no longer remembered. So it's imperative, it's crucial that we remember our men and women in uniform of those that sacrifice so much. It's really imperative. Because what would be the reason of being willing to sacrifice your life if you was going to leave this world like any other civilian? You follow what I'm saying? You know as well as I do, the majority of the civilians, unless you're a scientist or a doctor or you're a politician or you've done something really, really magnificent in society towards maybe finding a cure for a disease or something like that, the odds are civilians, whenever they die, within 50, 60, maybe 100 years, they're basically forgotten about. Our United States military should never be forgotten about. Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
Ever. Well, it's good talking to you, Mr. Coleman.
Yeah.
I was just wondering about that. And next time you see Philip, has he made any more music?
Nah, he's fooling with it all the time, off and on.
Is he? Next time you see him, tell him one of the Jackson boys come by here and hollered at him.
All right, we'll see you.
Yes, sir. You do the same.
Yeah.
At least we got a breeze today.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah.
We've had some old hot days, so not hot.
Is there a tractor in here older than you?
No. That old tractor there, it's a 29 model. That's the same model I am.
But you don't have nothing in here any older than 29. Lord, Lord. I've been told some of them pumps right there is worth $5,000, $6,000, $7,000. That's what I've been told. I don't know if that's true or not. You have a good day, Mr. Coleman.
We'll see you.
Thank you for letting me document you.
Yeah. Come back.
Yes, sir. Hey, what is this?
International Mirror Spreader.
Didn't Sears and Roebuck used to sell them?
Not that I know of.
Somebody told me that they sold them and that was the only thing that they never would stand behind. I see you now. I'm at Kenneth Coleman's house, fixing to sign off to my viewers. Appreciate everybody concern in the regard of the catastrophe that occurred in 1943 here in Weakley County. I'm actually in Obion County, but I'm just at the outskirts within a few hundred yards of being in Weakley County. So I consider this basically the same district. Thanks again. God bless. Shalom.